The defense, Singleton, Kenny Singleton in left field. Dave Winfield in center, Reggie Jackson in right field. George Brett from Kansas City at third. Bucky Dent from the Yankees at short. Willie Randolph also from the Yankees at second base. Rod Carew at first base. Carlton Fisk of the White Sox. And the starting pitcher from the Detroit Tigers, Jack Morris. And Jimmy Fry said he started him. He said if he had wanted to start somebody on emotion, he would have started Barker in his hometown after the perfect game. But he said, I went on sheer stats. He's been the most consistent. 1-9, lost 3. Throws hard, has a good curveball. And that'll be the test, I think, if these pitchers, after the long layoff, almost 2 months of real competition, can get their breaking stuff over, the finesse pitches. And if they can, if the hitters can hit them.
I just wonder if it'll be the spring training bromide that the pitchers are ahead of the hitters. We'll wait and see who's the first one to say that. We might add, while we got a chance here, that it rained here on Friday. They had a football game here last night between the Steelers and the Browns. But I want to tell you something, that Marshall Bossert, and that's a famous name among groundskeepers in baseball, the Bossert family, led by Emil Bossert, the father, what a job they have done getting this field in shape. You can hardly tell there was a football game here. The yard markers, the grass will slow the ball up. I don't think there'll be any balls shooting through that infield, but it is in great shape. The only trouble spot is in center field. Pete Rose will lead it off, and everybody thought that Pete Rose would be setting his first record by breaking Musial's record, but as he steps in the batter's box, it's a new record for Pete Rose. The 5th All-Star position that he is starting at.
And if baseball is on trial, could they have a better character witness to lead it off than this guy, Pete Rose?
Rose played second base, third base, left field, right field, and tonight, first base. It's his 15th All-Star game. Here's the first pitch of the All-Star game, 1981. Ball 1. That shrill that you hear are the whistles. There was a campaign here, blow the whistle on the players and show your frustration, your anger, and they were passed out. We had some sent to us.
Was it just players or was it baseball? Blow the whistle on baseball?
Everybody. Can't very well whistle on the owners, though. They're not here.
Well, this game will start erasing some of those bad memories. We've already seen it before the game. Well, look at that. That man is unbelievable.
I tell you, the longest he went without a hit, it took a strike to do it.
Pete Rose, as you look at 1981 National League rankings, hits, he is first. He came into this All-Star game with a 14-game hitting streak before the strike. Pete Rose, with that crouch that has become so familiar, looking over the right shoulder. He hits a good pitch. Sinker down low and away, he went with it. How he can maintain the level of concentration and the durability he has is beyond me.
Here is Dave Concepcion. Ball 1.
And Pete, on a decoy of steal of second base, had Bucky Dent, the very first pitch to Concepcion, out of position. Dent was going to cover the bag.
Didn't get a slow curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Davey spent a good part of the first half of the season as we look at Rose being held by Carew. 2 future Hall of Famers right there in your picture, folks. Concepcion for a while was leading that National League in RBIs, hitting in the number 3 spot for John McNamara in Cincinnati. Foster has since passed him.
Slow curveball. He chased it, foul tip, and got Carlton Fisk. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Concepcion was the player of the month for April in the National League. It just kind of nicks him. High curveball.
I think you're going to see a lot of hitters off stride early in this second part of the season. They haven't been used to seeing live arms with good stuff, change of speeds, movement on the ball.
Foul ball. Concepcion was hitting at .306 in 55 games. Second in the National League with 44 runs batted in. Foster was leading at 49. I guess you can say led because we're going to have that split season, which will be a bit confusing.
Baseball will run out of asterisks.
One ball, two strikes. Nobody out. Pete Rose, the leadoff man at first.
Got him. Might have been a hard slider, Joe. It's hard to tell from up here. Either a fastball that sailed away from Concepcion, but it had excellent movement on it. See the Jack Morris stats? He's been overlooked a little bit in the American League. Before this season, the prior 2 seasons before that, he'd won 33 ball games combined.
Dave Parker. Dave Parker, nearby Pittsburgh, and they really let him have it. Bill Garner, Bill Matlock, all took their boos very gracefully, and Mike Easler also a Pirate, but he was cheered because he's a hometowner. There's the strike. Parker was hitting at .286 in 34 games. He had 5 home runs, and 25 runs batted in. One ball and one strike. Dave Parker. He's his own man. There's that earring that he wears.
One of the guys all over the strike hurt his pocketbook, as it did almost all the players. It may have helped that knee, which he had off-season surgery upon.
He had a good cut at that one, but he still limped around that batter's box a bit. One ball, two strikes.
I guess you'd have to say that man is one of the strongest in this game today, along with Foster. I guess Norman Thomas. Big. One of the strong men in the American League is not here, Jimmy Rice. But there are a lot of great players who are not here in this game. Always difficult selecting them.
One ball and two strikes. I've always said I wish there weren't a roster, because there are guys that just belong here, but they shouldn't be here at the expense of those who deserve it by the way they're playing. Carew, what a play he made. I think he just put the glove down, and there it was.
That will show you the quickness of Arad Carew. It appeared like he would not stop. Remember, he's holding Rosat, and look how close he is to Dave Park, who absolutely mashes this ball, sinking, hooking away. Rodney waves at it. I don't know if it hit his glove or hit him up on the heel of the hand. He makes a super play to get one out on Parker. That ball's doubled all the way, Joe.
I did too. It hit him about 3 different places. Let's watch it on his isolate. Once hit him in the nose and bounces away, and he gets it. Might add, you just saw some tremendous shots, and we want to tip our hat to our crew right now. Before they took their first shot, our crew had 14 working hours behind them because of the football game last night. They worked through the night, getting set up, and here they are manning the cameras to give you these great pictures, and already in the first inning they've been tested, and as we expected, they passed. Didn't mean to swing. It's a foul ball, strike one. Mike Schmidt led all National League players in voting with 1,037,307. He's the only National League player to top the 1 million vote mark. 6th All-Star game for Mike Schmidt.
He has moved off the plate and is using that whole field of hit.
That fastball was inside.
So I was looking down at the National League bullpen just a moment ago. Valenzuela is a scheduled starting pitcher, but Tom Seaver has been doing a lot of loosening up throughout this first inning. I don't know if that means he's just getting ready to be the second pitcher in the ball game and Valenzuela's loose, but we'll find out when the National League takes the field.
Stays high. 2 balls and 1 strike. There you see Seaver.
He's loose and ready, and if he's coming in after Valenzuela or down the line of this game, he's getting loose awfully early. Mike Ryan down there in the bullpen. He's with the Phillies as a coach.
Might be, Tony, that they're taking this as like a starting assignment. Fouls it off, and I mean by that they need a certain amount of time to get ready and Seaver is trying to judge it because you just don't know how long an inning will last. Mike Schmidt, first in home runs, second in runs, tied for second game-winning RBI.
He may be the best athlete in this game all around.
No score, 2 outs. Pete Rose is on at second, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Mike Schmidt. He struck him out. Good fastball. And the National League does not score in the top half of the first inning, although Rose got as far as second. We go into the bottom half of the first inning. There is no score. National League, nothing. American League, nothing. And 2 up. Carew, Randolph, and Brett.
Rudy, beautiful shot. Municipal Stadium here in Cleveland. 1981 All-Star game. National League defensively. George Foster is in left field, Cincinnati. Andre Dawson, Montreal in center field. Dave Parker, right of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mike Schmidt is at third base from the Phillies. Concepcion at short. Davey Lopes at second base of the Dodgers. Pete Rose out to first base. 5th position in the All-Star game, as Joe told you. Gary Carter of the Expos behind the plate. And Fernando Valenzuela on the mound from the Dodgers.
And there he is. From the baseball standpoint, his pitching coach, Ron Paranowski, has plenty to say about him as he delivers to Carew outside, ball 1. He says that he can hit either corner with his fastball. He throws a screwball at 2 different speeds. And he can come in with a fine curveball. Rod Carew, 2 balls, no strikes. 305 with 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
This .333 average last year went overlooked because of Brett's fantastic .390 year.
Up the middle. Tough play for Lopes. He can't make it. Carew is on.
Joe, when you look at the makeup of the 2 starting teams, the American League in the starting lineup appears to have a little more speed, just the starting lineup. Valenzuela a little bit off balance, can't recover. Lopes may have slipped just a little bit. When he didn't catch it cleanly on that hop, he was not going to get Carew anyway. It's a base hit. The first 4 hitters in this lineup, as we look at the replay of Lopes trying to get the ball off the bat of Carew, the first 4 hitters can steal a base.
Willie Randolph, ball 1. Rod Carew.
Now, if you're an American League hitter, they are hitting off Valenzuela, except from spring training, off reputation. They've heard about his screwball, but that screwball is pretty much a finesse pitch, Joe. And the question is, can Valenzuela control it after like 2 months off? So I don't know. He may go with more fastballs to these guys.
Carew back easily. The official scores for tonight's game, they gave Carew a hit, as we told you. Ray Kelly Jr., the Camden Courier. Dave Nightingale of the Sporting News, and Hank Kozlowski of the Lorraine Journal here in Cleveland.
Carew is getting a good lead off Valenzuela.
Big gap between first and second. There goes Carew. Here's the throw. They got a chance to get him. They got him. Gary Carter just fired a perfect strike. And that's a pretty good commercial right there as to the ability of Gary Carter.
Carew appeared to have a pretty good jump, but Carter got a good fastball high. Carew may have been guessing the screwball was going to be thrown. A good tag by Lopes. Good call by Lou DeMuro.
There's a good picture of a straight steal. Not
beautiful.
once did he look at the batter. Lopes in front of the bag, but they still got him. A base hit for Willie Randolph. Schmidt couldn't get it, neither could Concepcion.
This is an excellent infield to play on. It has always been in good shape. You usually get good bounces. It was covered during the rains. But remember, the National League is used to playing on more artificial surfaces. And a little bit of erratic hops may give them a little bit of trouble. That's a hit all the way, though. Schmidt covered ground like a shortstop in that third base spot.
George Brett. Brett led all the players in balloting with 1,144,000. Randolph with one out is on at first base. There's no score. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. Ball one. Carter ready to throw. He likes to throw. He'll throw to any base.
And Joe, with Brett, as smart a hitter as he is, there's a big gap between Lopes at second and Rhodes at first base. And if he gets a pitch inside, Brett is going to try and use that hole and pull the ball through. Try and get a first to third going for the American League. Lopes is really cheating up the middle.
Right back to Valenzuela. Nobody covered. And Randolph is safe. Valenzuela very alertly held that ball.
Good play, wasn't it? Brett was jammed. He did not get a good jump out of the box. There was a mix-up for this reason. Concepcion said, "I'm taking the throw." And then he ball hit to you, Fernando. He was speaking to him in Spanish. Concepcion then went for the ball. And Lopes did not get over to cover. Valenzuela very alertly got one out, Joe. Good play by the kid. He really kept his head.
He kept looking for somebody at second base. And there's the first indication that some of the guys were not working out during the strike.
That's a fooler, though, Joe, to be honest. Concepcion told Valenzuela, "I will take the throw and the ball it back to you." But if the ball gets by Valenzuela, Concepcion's got to go to get it. Davey Lopes was going to back up to play at second and didn't recover to get the tag at second. But Valenzuela made a good play.
He did. Dave Winfield. Man on second base, and you can see what he does with men in scoring position. A .393 hitter, and the man that he wants to drive in is right there, Willie Randolph. Screwball. I think that Carl Hubble, the man who I always associate the screwball with him, he's not sure whether he named it or his catcher, but he calls it a backward curve. His logic is very simple. If you can throw a curveball, why can't you throw a reverse curve? And that's what a screwball is.
Used to be called the outshoot.
There's another one. Mike Schmidt charges hard. In time. So, the first inning is now history. The American League did not score in the bottom half. We complete one inning of play. National League, nothing. American League, nothing. Here in Cleveland, Ohio. A beautiful night for baseball, and we've had an exciting start. Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. The moon over Cleveland. And it's teed up so high, you have to say, star on the mound. You look down. Limp shot. Tom Seaver. Ken Singleton takes his strike. Seaver's 7-1, 2.07 earned run average, 5 complete games. Fouled out of play, strike 2. This is his 12th season in the All-Star Club. He has struck out 15 in the 12 innings that he's worked. Reggie Jackson is the on-deck batter, and there should be some kind of reaction to him, but Reggie's very loose. He's been over there visiting. There you see him, Bob Hope in the background there. There he goes, former Commissioner Chandler with the blue cap on. Look out. Hit deep to right center field, way back, way back. American League leads. Reggie stepping in the batter's box got the reaction, as you heard in the background, the boos, as Singleton gave him the lead 1-0. Seaver's going to make the play. Look out. It is in time. Nice play by Seaver and Rose.
I'll tell you, Reggie made a nice gesture. When he came into the on-deck circle, as he went by Vice President Bush's box, he gave the Vice President one of his bats, and you could read Bob Holt's lips sitting right next to him saying, "Where is mine, Reggie?" which drew a couple of laughs. Vice President George Bush, with Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn in the center of your picture, Bob Holt. Mrs. Kuhn in the back. Happy Chandler.
What an amazing guy. We visited
83,
with...
isn't he?
83 years old, and he's playing golf, and he can't shoot his age. He's shooting in the 70s yet.
Oh.
He shot 79 the other night. The other day, he told me. This is Carlton Fisk. Ball one. Married 56 years. Vibrant. He was visiting with everybody.
You think this guy right here didn't help revitalize that White Sox franchise quickly? Home run up in Boston, beat his own team. He has really helped out, Fisk has, that young White Sox pitching staff.
1 ball and 1 strike. 1-0, the American League leading on a home run by Ken Singleton. Foul tip that got a little nick of Gary Carter. Singleton in April. What a year, what a month. Wow, he had a great year that month. Started to say 25 for 53 at 472. He was the player of the month. And he gives the American League a lead 1-0 with the home run. Seaver faces Fisk. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on.
This takes a lot of time getting in the batter's box, as you've seen. Also, he takes a lot of time calling pitches. When he's behind the plate, you usually see long ball games.
He got it. Good pitch. Seaver nicked the outside corner. Fisk is out on strikes. So there are 2 away. It brings up Bucky Dent. There's Bill Madlock, the Mad Dog, and his son, Angry Puppy.
Bill Garner, member of the Pirates, who also made the All-Star team.
Line drive, base hit. Bucky Dent singles to right field.
You know, several of the players in this All-Star game was criticized as selects like Jackson and Lopes and Bucky Dent, but I think it's unfair to say to Bucky Dent, there may be more sensational shortstops in the American League, a Trammell or a Yount, Burleson, but he is as steady as they come, and you don't win as many pennants as the Yankees have without a guy like this.
Here is Tom PACIOREK from the Seattle Mariners. Having a good year. 5 home runs, 31 runs batted in, hitting .328. It's his first All-Star game. 7 game-winning RBIs, which puts him 4th in the American League. Hot smash. Schmidt can't come up with it. Into left field. Bucky Dent heading for 3rd. He'll make it.
You just had a chance to see how fielders who are used to fielding an artificial surface, when they get on dirt and grass, and Schmidt is a great fielding third baseman, but he let the ball play him. He's used to that ball getting to him much more quickly, Joe, off the turf. His charge is got to be an error.
They gave him a hit.
Now, not a question. Mike looked like he may have gotten his feet tangled up, and then instead of backhanding the ball, he lets it get by him. But I really believe that on artificial surface, the ball getting to him more quickly, he's going to have it. He let the ball play him.
Here's Rod Carew. He had an infield hit his first time up. There are 2 outs. Ball 1. Rod Carew has 4 different stances. Big chaw to back in his mouth, and that serves a purpose. Hits it in front of the plate. Seaver says, I'll take it. It is in time. Carew dribbled one in front of the plate. Seaver gets him, ends the inning. We complete 2 innings of baseball here. The score, the American League won on a home run by Singleton. And there's the man who put the number on the scoreboard. Ken Singleton gets a tremendous ovation. End of 2, 1-0. After these messages from your local station.
As we rejoin the action in the top of the 5th inning, the American League still leads 1-0 over the National League in the 1981 All-Star Game, right here on ESPN Classic.
Looks like a capacity crowd. So far, it's 1-0 the American League after 4.
The game originally scheduled. There is Dwight Evans, who stays in the ballgame. He walked pinch hitting. New pitcher for the American League, Ken Forsch, getting the signal straight with Carlton Fisk. You know that guy. You batted against him. I did too.
And what he's doing, Warren Spahn, is taking some bench jockeying, indicating, don't be getting on me about my nose, as he motioned with his elbow.
Now
he's
a pitching coach, isn't he, for the Angels in the minor leagues?
Angels farm system, that's right, Warren Spahn. So Ken Forsch against Gary Carter. Forsch allowed 2 earned runs in his last 27 innings pitched. Well hit, deep to left field. Singleton going back. We are tied.
Hung a slider, just stayed up and in for Carter, didn't it?
Fastball is inside the Manny Trio. Gary Carter, at age 27, we told you, has 133 home runs in his career, more than any player his age in the major leagues. And he has just tied it up with a home run here. Trio fouls it off.
Well, Gary Carter did not let Ken Forsch even get his feet on the ground as we look at it. I think it was a slider. High and tight. Carlton Fisk wanted to reach out there and grab his batter, grab the ball before he could swing. It just stayed right there.
Tony, that looked like one of those pitchers as a catcher. You holler, oh no, as soon as it's released. Foul ball. This is the first appearance for Forsch in Municipal Stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. National League bench, Concepcion is Gary Carter behind him, putting on the tools. And Petey Rose, there you see him. Right field, Evans is there. And we're going to have a pinch hitter come on for the pitcher, Nepper. Terry Kennedy has come out of the National League dugout.
You think Pops is proud right now, Bob? Formerly the Cubs general manager. This is a big guy. He's got some power. He has a great throwing arm. Has a chance to be an excellent player, Joe. He's got a lot of tools.
I saw a scouting report by one scout that I really respect, and he simply put on his report, he can play. He has 60 base hits in 50 games this season. This is his first All-Star game. Hits the first pitch, and Willie Randolph is there, and he's going to be an easy out this time. Gary Carter's home run has tied it up here in the 5th.
Randolph's 4th assist. If he stays in this ball game, we told you he holds the assist record for an All-Star game for second baseman at 6.
Here is Pete Rose. Rose, who set another record tonight by playing 5th position in the All-Star game. You heard him say that he thinks he can still get Ty Cobb's record.
Well, he needs 561. Means he will have to be, what, about 43 years old by the time he gets it?
Ball 1 to Pete Rose. He says the only thing he has to prove now that he's not too old. Pete Rose, an amazing, amazing athlete. Low.
Little
There's
Petey.
young Petey watching his father. I think Jim Murray had a great line on him. Jim Murray writes for the Los Angeles Times. He says Pete's not going to die of old age. He's going to die of prolonged boyhood. Got such enthusiasm with everything he does. He comes running out of the dugout.
He had his agent check during the strike to see if he could go over and play in Japan just so he could play. Worked out about 3 hours a day playing tennis, hitting in a batting cage.
Willie Randolph once again. And that ends the inning, but Gary Carter's home run ties it up. We go into the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's 1-1. Gary Carter hit a home run. But if I said to you 1946 All-Star Game, you would think of maybe a home run, but I'm sure you'd think of an eephus pitch by Rip Sewell. Ted Williams liked it. Watch this. Fenway Park, Boston. Ted Williams against Rip Sewell, and there it is, the eephus pitch. Williams looks at the first one. Here comes another one, and there it goes. The eephus pitch ends up in the bullpen. And what a hitting exhibition the American League put on that day, including 2 home runs by Ted Williams. The final score, American League 12, National League nothing.
It's the top of the 6th inning with the score tied at 1. And Dave Parker is at the plate with 1 out here on ESPN Classic.
Curveball is high, and it's ball 1. Top half of the 6th inning, all tied at 1 apiece. Didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reggie Jackson, Tom PACIOREK, the American League bench. A good crowd on hand. There you see him.
Norris with that good screwball.
There it was. Off the end of the bat. It's going to be tough, but he rolls foul. Norris was second in the Cy Young voting last year to Steve Stone. He has a very unique delivery, I think, Tony, in that he's on the third base side of that rubber. He kind of stops right in the middle of his motion, and then almost, he gives you the feeling he's jumping at you.
You remember when Alvin Dark managed the A's, and he brought Mike Norris up as a very young kid in his late teens, and he just overpowered hitters and really helped that Oakland A's ball club. Then he hurt his arm. Many people thought he was finished. He went to the minors, gained control. His fastball came back, and he learned that screwball.
He's got a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well hit, deep to right center field, way back, home run, National League leads. Mike Schmidt, as we listen in on the National League bench, he went around. Schmidt is 0 for 2 so far.
Norris tried to sneak a fastball by him. He turned it around, didn't he? Parker
certainly did. Line drive off the glove of Bell. Base hit. Schmidt really tomahawked it. He's got himself a 2-base hit. High breaking ball, and he went after it.
Bell almost comes up with a super play. I think he's the best at his position at third base, Buddy Bell. He's playing well off the line for Schmidt and almost caught it.
Dave Garcia's former manager said he's the best in the world. Here is Baker. First time at bat in this game. First All-Star game. Outside, ball 1.
So you've got to wonder, if you look at the makeup of the 2 pitching staffs, the National League appears to have more power pitchers on their staff than the American League. And those finesse pitchers, which the American League has more, maybe a little more difficult to control. What a play.
Buddy Bell.
Oh, boy.
What a play. He's got Schmidt. Beautiful. Beautiful play by Buddy Bell.
I mean, there was no playing a hop on this one. From our left center field camera, Harry Carl gets to the shot. In between hop, he was going to look Schmidt back. Schmidt made a little bit of a base running error. Violated the Cardinal center ball to the left. You don't go over. Bell makes a super play. He had no chance at all.
Boy, I'll tell you, for you young fellas who want to play the infield, that's the way you do it. You get in front of that ball. Had he not come up with that ball, he still would have kept it in the infield. But he came up with it, he looked the man back, and he trapped him.
He couldn't get out from the front of that thing.
Oh,
That
yes,
was a rocket. That was a rocket.
Hey, you've seen those guys give that old leg.
That was a beautiful play.
That was a great play. You get some of those guys with a long-term contract, and they'll flag it. Hi, how are you? See you on your way back. Beautiful play. Baker's on at first. This is Dawson. Didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The play that Bell made, you had a chance to see why he's won 2 consecutive Gold Gloves in the American League. And there was a very quick cameraman to get that shot.
Two balls and a strike with 2 outs. National League 2, American League 1, all home runs. Parker has just broken a 1-1 tie, which was set up. A home run by Singleton gave the American League the lead in the 2nd. Carter with a home run tied it up in the 5th, and Parker here in the 6th has just broken a tie. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andre Dawson.
Andre wants to look at the ball. You probably have heard that some people have accused Billy Martin's staff of doctoring a baseball, and that baby went down. Good movement on that ball. Good sinker.
He's really checking it.
Oh, Andre wouldn't see it. Bill Heller checked it out.
He said it was dry.
But anytime a staff gets as successful as this staff has, Billy Martin and Art Fowler, the pitching coach, are going to accuse you of something.
That foul. A fan came with a net. The biggest thrill in baseball. A foul ball, and he just reached down with that net. He could catch Moby Dick with that net. He got himself a foul ball. Look at the size of that thing. All right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yes, sir. Baseball is back. The fans are ready. Out on strikes with the runner breaking. Parker gives the lead to the National League 2-1, but Parker in 1979, if you remember, gave us some thrills with some throws. Remember the King Dome in Seattle? The King Dome in Seattle, and Dave Parker puts his arm on display. A tremendous throw to third base. It's not even close. And then Parker came back later on this base hit. He uncorks his throw all the way to home plate on the fly, but watch the tag by Carter. He's got him. The call is made. Another thrill from the All-Star Game 1979 version. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here in Cleveland, where Mike Easler has just gone in to play right field for the National League, and Ozzie Smith has gone in to play for the National League at shortstop. Ozzie Smith from San Diego and Easler from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Singleton takes it high.
Easler, a local boy, Cleveland born and raised.
2 balls and no strikes. Singleton had a big home run, gave the American League the lead in the 2nd inning. He gets his second base hit, sends it right back up the middle.
Houghton pitching to Ken Singleton. Tried to sink a ball down, got it about belt high. Kenny was really going for the pump on that one. He was trying to let it all out.
He's just a good ball player, Singleton, a solid hitter. One of the better kept secrets in baseball. Here's his swing as he sends it right back up the middle.
Well, there have not been too many 3-4 switch hitters like Singleton and Murray that the Orioles have who have produced as much as those 2 guys.
Base hit to right field for Evans. Easler up with it. Singleton tops at second. The American League's got something going.
Just had a chance to see the new Dewey Edmonds. He is a much smarter hitter. He was going the opposite way, so he wouldn't hit into a double play, shooting for the gap. He's no longer trying to pull everything.
So the American League with base runners at first and second. Nobody out. Carlton Fisk, the batter. Fisk struck out in the second and flying to right in the fourth. And we thank the great folks here at Cleveland for that special welcome. We've enjoyed our stay here. They've had all kinds of activity. This town is alive. Good football team, good basketball, good soccer, good baseball. A lot of activity, and what an all-star game they're being treated to.
Schmidt and Garvey at the corners for the National League are playing in close in the event that Fisk bunts. Dent is the next hitter, but there are pinch hitters ready. A guy like Fred Lynn is loosening up right now in case Fisk drops one down. And remember, these hitters are not used to getting strange signals from the various coaches. Don Zimmer, the manager of Texas, the coach down at third base, he'll be flashing the signs to Fisk. That's Singleton at second, Evans at first.
Fisk has backed out a couple times, which was an indication he wasn't sure of it.
Hitting.
Bunted foul. And a strike one.
Fans don't like it. All-Star game, they're giving a little second guess by their boos to Jimmy Fry, the manager. They want Fisk to hit away, I think, which he might do right now with one strike.
Well, Fry said that he was going in the late innings. He was just going to play to win this thing. They haven't won since 1971 when Reggie Jackson hit that tremendous and memorable home run off Doc Ellis in Detroit.
National League has won 17 of the last 18 All-Star games. They have really dominated.
One strike pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Happy Hood. Singleton at second. Evans is on at first. Dave Garcia, the Cleveland manager, you see coaching at first.
Schmidt is still in at third.
It's a strike. Shortened up as if the bunt took it, but it caught the corner. There's Mike Schmidt.
He will now move
back up.
Okay, that's a pretty good left side of the infield right now with Schmidt as agile as he is. And I really believe the man playing shortstop right now, the center upper part of your picture, Ozzie Smith, is the best defensive shortstop in all of baseball. He is amazing. Never gotten much credit. There's some good ones. Boa, I think Boa should be here for all he's done.
1-2 pitch. Looper, right field. Eastler can't get it. Dropped for a base hit, and they're loaded. The bases are loaded. And Jim Fry is looking for a pinch hitter. It'll be Fred Lynn. The bases are loaded. And Fred Lynn will be the pinch hitter for Bucky Dent. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. National League, 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. The American League, 1 run, 9 hits, and no errors. But the American League has a merry-go-round going.
Joe, I think it's always a thrill to come out and see pre-game batting practice, any ball game, but especially at the All-Star game, where all the sluggers in this game, like the Winfield and the Fosters and the Parkers and the Jacksons, put on the show. And I watched Lynn, and he's obviously been lifting weights. There's Dallas Green. He's going to leave Hooten in at this point. But Lynn kept up with all these guys. He was hitting the ball out of sight in batting practice.
He looks strong, Tony. The base is loaded. Bottom of the 6th inning. American League trailing by a run. No one out.
National League defense playing for the double play with a 1-run lead.
Bouncing ball. Trio gets it. And safe.
Trio has exceptional range to his left. Lynn doesn't get a good break out of the box. Not hit well. Trio then trying to regain his balance, gets the ball stuck in his glove. With that quick arm, he just couldn't get. Lynn as the tying run comes in.
There you see it again. He tried to get it, but just missed him. Buddy Bell with the bases loaded, who leads the American League with 42 RBIs, takes it outside, ball one. We are all tied up, 2 apiece. This is Bell's first appearance at bat. High. 2 balls, no strikes. Time is called now as Carter wants to visit with Hooten. As you know, if that ball is in that strike zone, Bell's going to go to work. And we've got an on-deck pinch hitter coming up. That's how the bases look when they're loaded from the sky.
Starting to overthrow, trying to put a little bit extra on. Ordinarily does not have control problems. Here are your American League RBI leaders with Buddy Bell sitting right on top.
Strike. At third base, it's Evans. Second base, it's Fisk. First base, it's Lynn. 3-1 to count, nobody out, score time. 3-2 now. He took something off, looked like this knuckle curveball.
What a spot to throw that, 3-1, and give him that hard-breaking ball. That's a pretty good pitch. Cannot be looking for in that situation.
His foot, it's a foul ball. Well, the count remains full. 4 singles in a row, and it's all tied up at 2 apiece. And I've just been handed an amazing statistic by our wizard here, Mr. Steve Dans. He says there's never been a grand slam home run in an all-star game. And you saw with that sign what the fans are saying.
Jimmy Fry will send up a pinch hitter.
American League with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Take the lead, 3-2, and Eddie Murray is the pinch hitter for Rod Carew. You talk about your durable player.
Talk about strong. He can hit the ball out of any park. He hits the opposite field a lot, left and right-handed.
Takes a curveball for strike 1.
He was ill early in the year, so his stats really suffered. He had I think it was a strange virus. Came back pretty quickly.
Before that, Tony, he had played in 638 of the 643 games that's come to the big leagues. OZZIE Smith running the base runner, Fisk back to second. Murray has averaged 28 home runs and 99-plus RBIs per year in his first 4 seasons as an Oriole. 1 strike pitch now. Hot smash. Garvey has it. To OZZIE Smith. Low throw. Nice play. Oh, what a play that magician made at shortstop. Tony just got through telling you about being the best, and there's why. Garvey threw a sinker, about a 30-footer. But Smith really made a good play.
He made a great play to stop the ball, but he had the composure to keep his foot on the bag and almost complete a double play. It was a very close play at first base. Garvey throws a sinker to OZZIE Smith. What a great stop. He kept the foot on the bag. The relay, very close at first base. Here's Fred Lynn, who almost gets hit by the shot off the bat of Eddie Murray. That may have shielded the vision of Steve Garvey at first base. What a great play by OZZIE
And look
Smith.
at that roll by
man.
Lynn. It was really a football block that he threw at OZZIE Smith on one play that OZZIE Smith really didn't have anything to do with as far as starting it. He got kind of busy. Watch Lynn go out to try to get him, and Smith does a little ballet dance by page 7 of the Fred Astaire book, and he's out of there.
You know, I think that play right there, along with some of the defensive plays, will show that these players are really out to give the fans a good show and to prove they have stayed in condition while the strike was going on. Simmons now the hitter.
So there are 2 men out. American League leading 3-2. Base hit, right field. Fisk will score 4-2 American League. Murray will try for third, but now he held up. OZZIE Smith was going to try to help the throw, and luckily that Murray held up. That was good base running, Tony.
Really was, and a little communications problem between Smith and Trio. Smith was taking an offline throw, was going to relay the throw to Schmidt at third base. Murray did that all on his own. He was not looking for a coach. You can see OZZIE Smith was going to third. He saw the runner Murray go out of his vision, thought he was continuing on. Big base hit by Simmons. Now Dallas Green is going to pop out. And we're going to have a pinch runner at first base for Simmons. Randolph, who went out of the ball game, as we look at OZZIE Smith again.
Green's going to visit with Hooten. May make a pitching change, and I would say he is, the way he's just taking that ball. There goes Happy Hooten. So we've got a break in the action here as the American League is taking the lead here. It's 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back with more action after these messages.
The pinch runner from the Kansas City Royals, Frank White, to replace Simmons, who pinch hit for Randolph. So White will stay in the game at second base. A new pitcher for the National League, Dick Ruthven of the Phillies. And Jimmy Fry is going to make a move right now, Joe.
He is. Al Oliver, who is hitting .388, 19 for 49 with men in scoring position. And he's got one on at second base in Eddie Murray. 4-2 is the score. We're in the bottom of the 6th, the American League. All singles. There's a strike. It started with Singleton. He singled to center. Evans singled to right. Fisk had a single. Lynn an infield hit. A sacrifice fly by Bell. Murray hit to a force out. A single by Simmons. And here we are with Oliver up there. 2 men out. It's popped up. OZZIE Smith going out hard. Tough play. Dusty Baker makes the play. Oh, what a play he made.
We have now seen 4 great plays in this All-Star game. Dusty Baker was playing Al Oliver very deep in left center field because Oliver has power in that direction. Smith sees he can't get it. Dawson over, and a dive by Dusty, and he's got it. What a play. What a run.
What a play that was. Look at this. Tony, he was looking for collision.
A soft turf out there, too, Joe, and Baker just kept on coming and waved everybody off.
The
Super play.
reaction you hear in the background, Bo Diaz is going in to catch. So it's 4-2 American League. At the end of 6, we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Dusty Baker with that shoestring catch. Remember the first time you heard those words? Some make it look hard, some make it look easy. And there's Baker's catch, and he just made a few minutes ago. Some make it look hard, some make it look easy, but they all make the play.
To save the National League 2 runs.
We've got all kinds of changes. They have not been able to get him up to the press box yet, as Lee Elia is just now finishing with Bill Haller behind the plate. We've got a new pitcher, Ron Davis. We've got a new shortstop in Burleson. Right now, there's no left fielder. We're going to have a new left fielder. Tony Armas is going somewhere.
I think the confusion was, Joe, that Lynn was probably going to stay in the game, but I don't know if something happened to him because Winfield started to move to left field and Lynn was going to go to center, but now Winfield stays in center and Tony Armas goes to left. So it's Armas in left, Burleson at short.
And Ron Davis, the pitcher, and Bo Diaz is the catcher. There's Burleson. We'll give you where they're batting. Jim Fry is just going over with Bill Haller to make sure.
I think the confusion might have been, in fact, even in Winfield's mind, he stepped field expecting Lynn to go to center, and Lynn didn't come out. Finally, Armas did, and Winfield stayed in center. But there's Ron Davis, who, after Gossage had some shoulder tightness, was scratched, and Davis took his place.
He faces Gary Carter. First pitch, straightaway center field. Winfield going back, near the wall, back, leaps, can't get it. There's no indication. Now it's a home run, indicated by the second base umpire, Lou DeMuro. What a try by Dave Winfield, but Gary Carter has his second home run of the night, and it's a 4-3 ball game.
Both times, Carter has jumped on the first pitch. That ball may have landed right on the top of the fence and then bounced out. Winfield almost had it. Here's Dave Winfield in center field. He looks for the warning track. He's now going to try and scale the wall just out of the reach of his glove off the top of the fence. Carter, 2 first pitch home runs as it just clears the fence.
Trio hits the first pitch, but Evans is there, makes the play, so there's 1 out. That home run by Carter puts him in the record book. Most home runs in the game to Archie Vaughan of the National League in 1941, Ted Williams in 46, Al Rosen in 1954, and Willie McCovey in 1969.
You see a chance to see Winfield's speed and his agility, and a home run that he just missed getting as he tries to scale the wall. Super efforts in this All-Star game, Joe, on both sides. It's been outstanding play.
Yes, sir. Here's Garvey. Well, we showed you Ted Williams hitting that Ephus pitch for a home run in 46, which was one of the 2 home runs he hit to put him in the record book, and Carter is just going into the record books with that home run. Garvey, his first time at bat, 4-3. What excitement they've had here in this great city of Cleveland. Popped up. Burleson says, I'll take it. Armas coming in, but the Rooster makes the play. There are 2 outs.
Gary Carter. He didn't know it was gone. He's trying to beat out a long double, maybe a triple. I don't know if that is effort of glee. He's going to see it going out pretty soon.
He was rooting and running and falling at the same time. I tell you something, these ball players, they just do not run on batteries. The excitement was there, and Carter just tripped and fell. Guerrero's in the on-deck circle. Boy, they're using all the ball players, and it's still a pretty close ball game, Tony.
Pete Guerrero spent some time injured this year, but he looks like the center fielder that Tommy Lasorda has been looking for. He will remind you a little bit of Willie Mays with his actions defensively and at bat. His tremendous power to all fields, a good throwing arm, can run. Excellent prospect.
It's his first All-Star game. Guerrero. Fastball misses. Davis leads all relief pitchers in the major leagues with 60 strikeouts. That's places him 4th overall in the American League. He was greeted with the home run. Misses with another fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. 2 home runs by Carter, 1 by Parker, home run by Singleton. We're glad to have baseball back. I have to join that banner, I'll tell you. There's Gary Carter. What a night he's had.
You telling Spani how he did it?
I came down the elevator with him. I tell you, see him in the hotel lobby. It'd be tough to pick him out as a ball player. He looked like he just walked off Madison Avenue. 3-piece suit, dark glasses, briefcase. Foul ball out of play.
Ron Davis, who has had an amazing strikeout record this year. I think the irony of that is it was Stan Williams, the former Yankee pitching coach, who told him to change his grip from a sinking fastball style and go cross seams and ride the fastball, and became more successful, and then Williams was fired.
He just blew it right by him. That ends the inning. So we go into the bottom half of the 7th inning, the American League 4 and the National League 3. And what a ball game this is turning out to be here in Cleveland. And 2 up, it'll be Winfield, Burleson, and Evans.
Ambassador to the world, a baseball owner, and Cleveland's very own Mr. Bob Hope. I don't need to say who you're rooting for.
You know it. You know it. I want to see him win. And in this park, I want to see him win.
One serious question, as one who knows and understands and has been around the entertainment industry, understands the entertainment industry's relationship with the public, how do you think the public will deal with this industry as the season progresses?
Oh, they can't miss. They can't miss. This has been the national pastime for so long, and look at this crowd. You know, this is it. And they'll come back. They've gone to other things for maybe something that's important, you know, reading and stuff. But they'll come back because this is in their heart. They were born with this.
Bob, thank you. You look terrific.
Thank you, Brian. Good
And Joe, indeed, it does seem like the strike's ancient history.
I tell you, it's the quickest makeup in history. Raleigh Fingers is the new pitcher. He's going against Ozzie Smith. Fingers, second in the American League with 12 saves. He's had 8 saves in his last 11 appearances. 36 strikeouts in 40 innings pitched. He's been hot.
I don't know who the first relief pitcher to the Hall of Fame is, but Fingers sure got a chance. Is there one in now, a relief pitcher? Wilhelm, he's not in.
No, I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, I would too, but boy, this guy's over the long haul. There's been nobody better, year in and year out. Oakland and San Diego, now the Brewers. Smith can steal a base for you. He can run.
Smith draws the base on balls. It's 4-3 the score here. American League out in front. And Mike Easler will be batting for the first time in this game before the hometown folks.
Jimmy Fry, the American League, has used every one of his regular players. He still has pitchers left. Dallas Green still has Bill Madlock, Phil Garner, Bill Buckner, Tim Raines.
It's a strike. Ozzie Smith at first base has stolen 125 bases over the last 3 seasons, and they're trailing by a run. You know they're looking for him to run. He's got a good lead at first. Easler takes it low. 1 ball, 1 strike. There he goes, a big jump. Good ball to handle, thrown into center field. And now Smith's going to try for third. They got him hung up. Buddy Bell to Burleson. And now Fingers has to cover. And Smith falls, and it's all over. Everybody's down.
That was the most graceful play of the evening on a lot of people's parts. And Ozzie Smith probably should have stopped right where it does. Diaz hit the umpire. No, it just pops out.
In practice is playing spring training, some catchers. You throw it into center field to set it up.
All right, this will give you an idea of the things that go unnoticed with a Dave Winfield. See how far he came in, playing deep on Easler to back up the play, and Fingers backed up the play properly to tag out Smith.
And there goes a half gainer by Raleigh Fingers. The play goes 2, 8, 5, 6 as Smith decides he's going to make it to third and says, uh-oh, got to make a U-turn. But it's too late. And now it's Bell chasing him, and now it's Burleson, and Fingers is there. And keep in mind, the way you make this play, only one man should handle that ball.
Well, Winfield made the play on my part by coming in as quickly as he did, showing the great throwing arm and the alertness. He prevented that runner from going to third. Very alert play by Dave Winfield.